Well, just got a fresh cut at Taylor's Barber Shop, Institute, West Virginia. It's a good place to get your hair done at. You need a quick haircut. So now we're gonna go on and start unpacking some tools and seeing some old tools. Alright, so what I'm getting ready to do is go through some various tools that is at my parents' house. My father had passed away, and a lot of these tools are older. They were tools that some of them that I had here that were given to me when I was younger, and I worked out of this garage here when I was racing. A lot of them I left behind. Some of them's tools that he had, my dad had. Some of them were tools that my mom's dad had and were given to us, to my dad. Some of them were his dad's tools, and it's kind of giving an overview on some of them. It's kind of a mess right now. I'm trying to get things cleaned up so we can do an estate sale. But I thought I'd show off a few cool tools and even some of the old vintage stuff I had from back in my days racing. Well, here's my first toolbox from 1997. It was a Popular Mechanics from Walmart. A lot of my racing stickers on it through the years. I've just left it here at my parents' house. Kind of gave it to my dad. Put holes in it. Various stuff. Yep. It's been a good one. 28 years old. Come from Walmart, a Popular Mechanics. I upgraded, naturally through the years and no longer needed it. So I left home 20 years ago. Just left it here. Even left some of my first tools. It's an old painted up screwdriver, but believe it or not, it was one of the old Homer Tools parking lot sale screwdrivers. There was an early snap one. It was given to my dad from my grandpa. So it was one of the early toolboxes. I don't know if many people remember, but Popular Mechanics was not only a magazine, but they also had a tool line at Walmart. I have some wrenches somewhere, pliers and screwdrivers. They were pretty good stuff. As I look around here on the shelves, you can see stuff from the past. AutoZone brake cleaner, old motor oil from Advance. It was branded their name that was compared to Haviland. All this stuff was from back when I was racing, 20 years ago. Still in the garage in the same spot. I just left a lot of this stuff here for, Dad when I left. He didn't use a lot of it. Old vintage grease gun from back in my racing days. Some amazing stuff, Here's some tools I'm paddling up, because we're going to eventually have an auction. This was the very first reciprocating saw that I ever owned. 2003. Even had our racing number on it. Still works. I bought it at Harbor Freight. I left it here for my dad. I remember saving up and working at Kroger's to buy this. At the time, it was well over 50 bucks. But man, it was great, cutting roll cages and different things. And it still works good. I just don't have a need for it. But it's one of the very first powered reciprocating saws I ever had. Back when I was getting started in the late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of the power tools aren't as good as they are today. So you still have to use a lot of corded tools. Something else you don't find every day. An old monkey wrench. And this was one that I think come from my great-grandfather. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna hang on to that. I don't want it to go anywhere. Here's an older Harbor Freight screwdriver set from the early days of Harbor Freight. Got these cheap rubber handles. Check this out. There's even a flex. I guess you can put a flex on there. It's a little bit interesting. I remember I bought this for Dad for Christmas. I think it was 03. So yeah, you put this on. Oh yeah, it goes like that. Gives you a flex. You put your bit in. It's pretty nifty. But the set don't look terrible. I mean, I'll use it. Kind of like some of these more precision screwdrivers that's in the set. Matter of fact, that'll be good for the carburetor. Get into the carburetor on the one chainsaw I got. But yeah, it's an old set. We have here a jigsaw. It's a Black & Decker. And this come from my grandpa. He even had an oil port where you could oil it. I guess the mechanism, it goes up and down. This is probably from the 60s. And he gave it to my dad and I. And it's been sitting here at the house. My dad used it once in a while. Thing still works well. This was back at a time when Black & Decker made pretty good tools. But just another vintage power tool from the past. Talking about ratchets. This was a ratchet my dad had. Oh, I know, he had this thing since the 80s. I remember when he had an old Chevy van working on it in the driveway. I remember playing with this ratchet back then, but it is a proto ratchet. I'm not sure where he got it at or where he bought it, but like I said, I'm 40 years old and he had it since I was, at least 3 years old. But this ratchet, it's not real ergonomically designed, but man, it's really fine teeth. Definitely not a bad ratchet, for an old farm ratchet or something, but this was an early tool. Proto made good tools, and you can still get them today, but I guess to show ratchets come a long way with the nice grip handles and flex. Here's another old one. This is a Benchtop toolbox. It's my dad's. My mom bought this for my grandfather about 30 years ago for Christmas one year at Kmart. And then when he passed away, my dad got it. You can see it's kind of disorganized. And now I have it. But I'm going to go through it. It's kind of a vintage time lapse. A lot of old stuff. Check out these long filler gauges. Old school magic marker. Cool stuff. But yeah, it's an older one. Got a lot of old proto sockets and things in here. Some snap-on stuff, things that my grandfather had. But Benchtop was sold at Kmart in the 90s, and I believe even in the early 2000s, up until when Kmart and Sears went together and Kmart adopted the name, the Craftsman lineup. But Benchtop had some pretty good tools, really. I got a few of them scattered at my house, over the hill in the barn, things I picked up at flea markets and auctions. But yeah, Benchtop brings back some memories, the old Kmart days. Check out this old Craftsman ratchet of my dad's. That's a gem from the 70s or 80s. Definitely from a different era. But still got a lot of USA Craftsman stuff here too. I bought that for my dad a few years back. But some neat little stuff. It's a little stubby 1/4-inch snap one. Man, this brings back some memories. Another cool old relic from my time in this garage. Back in the day, I'd done an at-home small engine course through Foley Bell Saw, and they sent me wall charts. And this was one of them I had hanging up for a Wisconsin engine. 1981, which I didn't get this till the late 90s. But I used to mess around with a few of the old Wisconsin engines. Pretty cool vintage piece of relic. One of the go-kart number plates for the back bumper. We made that out of duct tape at the last minute. Won a lot of races with that on the back, so hung it up in the shop. Well, I hope this video wasn't too painful for some of you. It just showed, you know, I done this to show off some different old tools and old brands that was available years ago. Kind of sad going through all this, you know, cleaning up my dad's stuff, things, you know, from the past, but it's things I, you know, want to keep and, you know, kind of cherish. But, you know, one thing that I hope that a video like this can help show some of the younger viewers is how far tools have come and how much easier it is to get good quality tools now than it used to be. You know, 30 years ago, you were looking at Sears, a Napa store, maybe an Advance Auto Parts or the flea market, and other than the tool trucks, that was what you had. Lowe's was dipping into tools and getting better tools at that point, but, you know, there wasn't a lot other than, you know, maybe a hardware store or something, but, you know, and you were limited on what you could get. Now, you know, you got the internet, you got all these different cool brands and stuff, but you heard me mention a few times in the video, talk about the old Chuck Homer, I believe was the name of it, tool sales. They were like a gypsy outfit that would advertise in the paper with truckloads of cheap Chinese tools, everything from log splitters, the small engines, the screwdrivers, the milling machines, the, you know, dog crates, shovels, rakes, wheelbarrows, you name it, lawn furniture, whatever. You know, they would bring this stuff in by the truckloads and set up and advertise it, and they'd set up in parking lots at like Kmart stores or Old Hills stores. This was primarily in the 90s and even the early 2000s. They used to set up at some of the armories in different places, and you had to get there early, and you'd stand in line, and a lot of the things that you wanted that was advertised in the paper, you would have to wait in line and get a ticket and take it up front. You wait in line, show them what you wanted on the ticket, and they would bring it out and you would get it. I mean, stuff was dirt cheap back then. I mean, and, you know, I think that company's since out of business. I think the internet's hurt that model. But a lot of that stuff, you know, really wasn't much count. But I still have a few of them hand tools lingering around, and so does Dad here at his place. You know, most of the power tools crapped out immediately that you got from a place like that. Believe it or not, I still think I have an air impact, a 1/2-inch air impact, but a lot of their tools said Speedway series on them. But, you know, it's pretty cool, man, you know, to think back and where things have evolved. So, you know, just like me mentioning Benchtop Tools, which was Kmart's brand. I did in another video, I talked about Pro Tools, which was kind of Advance Auto's brand. And in the early days, Harbor Freight, you know, Pittsburgh was kind of their top brand. A lot of the Harbor Freight stuff didn't even have a name on it. It was just drop forged China, you know, but it's come a long way. But again, I appreciate you watching. Please comment and subscribe.